Good morning, guys. It's Dana, and we are here to continue on with our little golden book journal. And what we're going to do today is we're going to put our signatures together and we're going to sew them in, and we're going to do a button. We're going to put buttons on our spine as we sew our signatures in. So the first thing I've done is picked a bunch of papers, and the design papers that I'm using are from Artie Mays, and they're called Watercolor Christmas, and I just thought they went really, really cute with the collection, with the book. And I used 3 of her backings that came with the collection, and the other backings that I used, like this one came with the Watercolor Christmas. These 3 came with Watercolor Christmas. These 3. There's brown, red, and green. And I wanted a little diversity, so let's see. These 3, this one, and this one, are from Christmas Backgrounds by Roxy Creations. And these 2 came from another Artie Mays Christmas digital, and I can't remember which one. So that's what I've done, and I've cut the edges off of those digitals. And let's go ahead and as we go, I'll show you what I've picked out. So let me grab my bone folder that I can't find. Okay, I don't know where my bone folder went, so we'll just use the edges of my scissors. And we'll just get these guys folded in half. Okay, those are cute. So we're just gonna fold these in half. Let me put this stuff aside so I can get a good crease on these. So I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing okay. I'm, just dealing pain and, the norm for me. So I'm kind of like, at this point, it's like, whatever, Nothing much going on around here other than the fact I think my oldest son is going to be moving back home. And, my oldest son's kind of he's a late bloomer. And he is 25, and he has finally decided to go to college. And I told my kids when they were growing up, I said, if any of you guys want to go to school full time, you always have a place here at home. And so it just kind of worked out to where he was, him and his brother are living together, and their lease was up at the end of this month, and he had enrolled to go to school part-time already at the community college, and he was going to work full-time and go to school part-time. And him and his brother were having a hard time finding an apartment that they could afford. And so we were just talking, and and he works nights. And he said, I just feel like it's going to be really hard to work nights and go to school part-time. And I said, well, because he's never been able to really get used to the nights, working nights. And so, okay, I've pulled some things here that will fold up. These are just like tracing paper. I did these last year, and they're just, these are 2 papers that I didn't use. So I'll be cutting these down. These don't need to be cut down. I've got a couple doilies. I've got some Christmas music. I've got some Edith Holden from December, some line journaling pages. I've got some coffee dyed paper, things like that. So I'll talk and chat as we kind of, you know, anything I need to cut down, I'll cut down. So anyway, so he was having a hard time, and they didn't have any part-time shifts available at his job. And so he was thinking that he was gonna find a different job. And he said, you know, that he really would actually like to go to school full-time because he's getting started late as far as college. Just got a couple of bags here. Because he's getting started late, he said, I'd really like to go full-time so it doesn't take me like 8 years to get my degree. And so we talked about it, and I told him, I said, if you want to go to school full-time and work part-time, you know, you can always come stay with me. So that's what he's gonna do, and I'm proud of him for deciding to go to school. He just realized finally, after being in the workforce for a while, that he's just not gonna go where he wants to go unless he gets a degree, and that it'll always be, you know, it'll be harder to move up and do something a little more interesting. And that's not to say that people aren't successful that don't go to college. That absolutely is the case. You can be successful without going to college. He just, you know, he wants to do computers and stuff, and he's just not going to be able to do that without a degree. So, okay, let me, I'm gonna cut these real rough edges off these Edith Holden pages. And I did measure, okay, because we used the full, I don't want to pull my book cover over because I've got buttons laid out on it. My pages here are 8.5 by 11, and there is room to be able to go up to probably 6 inches wide on my papers. But height-wise, we're only 8 inches tall on our spine. So height-wise, I'm cutting my papers down to 7 3/4. So just to let you guys know that. So, as we look at the rest of these papers, I wanted to tell you guys that before. So this is just an Edith Holden page from December, and these are my last two December. This has got mistletoe on the back. And this one is just text. These are my last two December pages out of my Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. Very last two December pages. Okay, so let's see. What do these measure? These measure almost 12. So I can use these as they are. I just need to cut them down to 7 3/4. And I'm going to take the waviest edge and cut that off. So 7 3/4. And if we put the signature together and I feel like I need to cut a little more off of that, I will. Same with this one. So 7 3/4, and if I want to cut a little bit more off the width of it once we put the signature together, because I do have a few things that are going to be wider than our 8.5 by 11, so it should be okay. I'm going to take this raggedy edge off of this. I've just got some lined journal paper here. Okay, so let's see, how tall is this? Okay, this is over 8 inches. So I'm going to cut this side to 8. I'm going to measure it at 8. And then I'm going to turn it around because I want to try and center my writing lines as much as I can. And then I'll cut this side to 7 3/4. And that just centers. Now my writing lines are centered, so when I fold it in half, it doesn't look weird from top to bottom. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for this one. And I've got pretty much 2 of everything because we've got 2 signatures here. So again, the raggedy edge I'll cut at 8, and I'll turn it around and cut it to 7 3/4. Okay, I've got a couple of coffee dyed papers that I've chosen here. And because they're kind of wrinkly, I'm gonna cut them one at a time. We don't need to cut the length at all. We just need to take off, and we need to cut it down to 7 3/4. Now, when we were doing Christmas once a month, we did some stamping in different colored inks. And I used this big piece of graph paper to do my stamp offs, to clean my stamps. And I saved it because it's all Christmas colors. And this is a big sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. So just right here. I'm going to cut it in half. And these should be, nope, they're too long. So I'm just going to cut it down to 7 3/4. And then we'll just fold those in half. So I saved these just for Christmas journals, so we'll just use them in this one. Because I've got all of the stamp offs of the Christmas stamps on this side, and this side's just still plain graph paper. So we've got those. Okay, so I have a couple of Christmas books, picture books of the night before Christmas that I've found at Goodwill over the last year. And so I've got a couple pages from those that I thought would be cute to put in there. And then I have a really big one. This is how big the pages are, and it's also night before Christmas. So what I did was I chose a page that, because we've got Santa and his reindeer come down this way, right? So, and this is I don't want to cut this down so much. So what I was going to do was just like the graph paper here, I was going to cut it in half and then fold those pieces in half. And I think that we'll get good images if I do that. So, because we'll have Santa up here on this page that will fold in half, and then we've got reindeer on this page that will fold in half. So I think that one will work. So let's work on these. This edge is super wonky. I had a hard time getting it out of the book. So I'm just gonna cut that off and then see where we're at measurement wise. Okay, we're almost there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around and cut it to 7 3/4, and I think it should be almost match the other side. Okay, so that one's good to go. And then I think this one will go to 8 on this side, maybe a little bit less. And then on this side, we'll go 7 3/4. And that kind of centers the picture. I'm a little bit off, but that's okay. So when we fold this in half, we should have the kids sleeping on one side and then their sugar plum dreams on the other. It'd be cute. Okay, so let's see what this measures. This measures 13, so I'm going to cut this in half at 7.5, so that's half of 13. So we'll cut it in half at 7.5. Oh my gosh, I just did that wrong. It should have been 6.5. Oh no. Okay, so this is what we have. That's okay. We'll just have a short page. That's okay. I'm just gonna trim off the wonky little jagged edge here. Well, that's a bummer, but that's okay. I still have what I wanted, which is Santa up here and reindeers down here. I just have a couple of reindeer instead of 3. So it's okay. I'm not gonna freak out. That is a bummer though. Okay, so we have those. Now, the last thing we have that I want to do is, these are 2 pieces of double-sided scrapbook paper that I took from an authentique paper collection called Rejoice. And I don't have a lot of double-sided Christmas paper. A lot of the Christmas paper pads and collections that I have are just from Michaels. They're hot buys and they're white on the other side. And I'll show you the reason I wanted to have the double-sided. Let me take off the branding strip so I can show you. What I want to do with this is I want to fold this up like this, and then we'll fold it in half so that we have almost like a folder that will go ahead and glue and then and put in our signature. And I thought that that would be cute. And so I don't need to do any cutting to this because our cover is 6.5 inches wide. If I fold this in half, it's 6. So the only thing to decide is, what do I want on the outside? I think I want the plaid on the outside. So we'll just need our scoreboard for this one. So I'll get that out here in a moment. Let me just take the branding strip off. So I've got 2, 1 for each signature. Okay, so let's work on these real quick. Let's fold these and then we'll work on those. Let me get all of these scraps out of the way. All right, so we'll just go ahead and fold all these in half. So we've got Santa here on this side, and then we got his reindeers on this side, so that works. And on this side we have this reindeer, and on the other side we basically just have the bodies of the reindeers, but what we can do here is put like a little pocket or something like that. Okay, and then we have these, are super cute. All of these folded in half. A lot of prints going on in this journal, and that's okay. Normally I have more writing space paper. However, you know what? Not all journals are the same. And it'll be an opportunity for us to work with a journal that has a kind of less writing space than normal, and I'll show you how we'll add writing space to it. And we'll do that through our journaling tags and pockets and things like that, things that will add to it. So like this tracing paper is great because it's totally writable. If you use a black pen, you can totally journal on that. Okay, and we have our Edith Holdens. Pretty. Okay, let me grab my scoreboard. I'm gonna move all of this stuff aside. And on top of our, on top of all the papers that we just cut and folded, we also still have our storybook pages too that are gonna go in there. Okay, so I need to decide how I want this to go. I think I want the plaids on the outside. And that's what I think I want. So I've got 7 3/4 inch pages. So what I'm going to do, got some glue. When I tore that page out, it got stuck at the top. Get that off. There we go. So my pages are going to be 7 3/4 tall. So with the, this is what I want to use for the outside. So that's going to be the side face up when I score. And I want to make sure, because this is going to be the part that folds up this way. So I want to make sure my design is running this way. Okay. So what I'm going to do is score this at 7 3/4. So that it's as tall as my pages. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to score it in the middle at 6. Okay, so when we fold it, we'll fold it in half. This is what we're going to get. We'll have this cute little folder to go into our book. Now, we're going to do a couple things to it. Okay, I don't want all this bulk in the middle. Okay, when it goes into our signature, I want it to fold nice and flat without a lot of bulk at the spine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it back this way. And I'm going to take my scissors. And what I'm going to do is cut the smallest little V out of the middle, just up to that score line. So now, when we fold it, that middle is free for it to just sit nicely, and we don't have that bulk in our spine. Then what I want to do is take my corner rounder on the 1/2 inch side, and I'm gonna corner round this top corner, just like that. Do I want to round? I think I want to round the bottom ones too. I'm gonna do those separately because it's 2 layers of paper. So I'm gonna round that and that. Cute. Okay, so that goes over there. So let's do our other one. Okay, this is kind of a directional. Our pine cones are running in one direction, so are the acorns. So I want to make sure my design's running this way, left to right. And I want this to be my outside, so I'm going to flip it over. So we're going to score at 7 3/4. That's how tall our pages are. And then I'm going to flip it one turn and score it in half at 6. Okay. And then we'll burnish our score lines. Oh, that's so cute. I love that plaid against that other print. That's why I wanted double-sided. I didn't want it to just be white inside our folder. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and cut the smallest V out of the middle, just up to the score line here at 7 3/4. Taking very little out, just the slightest amount, so that our score line is free on our spine. So now I'll round to the corners. Okay, Then we need to glue our pockets down on that. Get rid of our scoreboard here. Okay, let me grab my glue. I kind of wanted to sew these pockets down, but my sewing machine is buried with my daughter's button making stuff. She's been making buttons and stickers with her Cricut, and it's all over my sewing table. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run glue right up the side of the pockets, just right here. Go ahead and put that in place. And those will be great pockets for journaling cards and tags. Cute little flaps that we can, I need a new art glitter glue bottle. Look at my whole label is like peeling off. Cute little front flaps to decorate. Okay, glue is clogged. Oh, for heaven's sakes. There we go. Okay. I've got some kind of clog in my glue. I'm gonna have to try and get this out for a second here. Okay, hopefully that'll work. So that's our folder. That's one of them. So let's glue our flaps down on this one. Oh my word. Sorry guys. The battle of the art glitter glue, you know how that goes. Always. There's some kind of there we go. I think it broke free. All right. So cute. See, and we can decorate these pockets, and we can even put writing paper down on here. Okay, so let's look at putting our signatures together, and then we'll look at our book pages. All right, so these are our folders. I'm gonna put things that aren't full pages. Let me put this out, okay. And put things that aren't full pages in this pile. These are full pages, these are full pages. These are not. These are not. These are not. These are not. And these are not. Okay, and then we have our digitals. Okay, so I'm gonna pick one of our digitals that I'd like to see on the outside. And I'm thinking, oh, you know what? We need to put these in two piles. So, okay, I've got three lined papers. Let me set those aside. And one of these lined papers has this lady on it, I think. Yep, so we want that one in the second signature. Okay, so let's see. We have two of these kind of, we've got three of these kind of collage-y ones. So I'll put this one here and this one here. We'll put these two, let's do this one and then this one, and then we'll put these two, actually, this one here, and then this one here. Okay, so that's our two. What we'll do is we'll put them in piles. First signature, second signature. Okay, so we have our folders. We'll put this one in the first signature, this one in the second. These are our half pages. Put one of these in each. One of these in each. Lined paper, and then we have this. Okay, before we put our half pages in, let's go ahead and decide what we want on the front. And I'm thinking this one. And then what we want for the middle. I really like this one. That's what I'm thinking. Or this one. Okay, I really, really like this one for the middle. So, let's fold this one back. Okay, so we have this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then here's our middle. Okay, let me show you this fly. There's a fly that will not leave the camera alone. Okay, so now we have these. Where do we want our folder? Why don't we just put our folder right in the middle of these? We have 4 pages, so I'm just gonna take these and just put our folder right here. Okay. Okay, we'll put our folder there. And then we have these papers. And we've got 4 things. So let's go here. We have our folder here. Let's put this here. That's our middle. Okay. And then we got kind of writing paper here. So I don't want to put my lined paper here because I've got lined paper here. So let's put our coffee dye paper here. This will be a good place for our writing paper. We'll put that there. And let's put this here. Like that. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Really cute. Okay. Now, let's split these in half here. These can go with that signature. We've got doily. We've got, let's put the half page in, no, let's put Santa in the front signature. We've got music. And then we've got our Edith Holden. So let's see where we want these. Our Edith Holden in like this with our mistletoe. I think that'll, well, I like the music in the front. Let's put our music here. And our Edith Holden, let's put that back here. That there. See where we want to put Santa. I think we want to put him here. This is kind of plain and needs a little color. So we'll put that there. And then we've got our bag, we've got our doily. I think the doily would look really pretty up against the plaid. So let's put that there. And then we have our half page. I think that can go, how about right here? Actually, I think our bag would look really pretty right here. And let's see where we want to put this little half page of ledger. That there, that there. Let's put it right here. Okay, cute. And then we have this, this. Yeah, I like that. I'm happy with that. Okay, that's that signature. That's our first signature. And I'll just kind of mimic what we've done. So I've got this here. So let's choose from our, what do we want on the front? I'm thinking these birds are super cute. And then I'll take the other collage sheet and we'll use it for the middle. And so we'll put these writing pages, they're up next to each other now, but they won't end up that way once we add everything else in. Okay, so then we did music and coffee dye. Grab the coffee dye here. And then we did that big, this page. And then we had our next, oh, and then we had our bag. So we'll put our bag in. And then we had our next digital. Okay, so that all goes in here. Like that. And then we had our next digital. And then we had our journaling paper. Our doily, and our folder. And that's gonna look really pretty on that plaid. That looks so cute. And then inside of our folder, we had our half page of ledger. And this tracing paper. And then comes our next digital. So this all goes right here. Okay. And inside this one, we had our story page, which I cut wrong. So we've got a short page. And then we have this. Like that. And that looks good on that. And then we had our Edith Holden. And then our middle. Now, I think I want to switch a couple things around. I'll show you why. Because in the middle, where we've got our Edith Holden here, it's sitting against this brown background. And I'm not happy with that. So I think what I'd like to do is switch this with the Edith Holden page. So we'll move the Edith Holden here, like that. Still not completely happy. I think I'm gonna switch this graph paper with something. We'll put our reindeers here, and I'm happy with that. The reindeer look cute on that brown. Okay, but I'm not happy here. We've got a lot of white. So let's find a more colorful, full page. This one could switch. I'm happy with that there. I'm happy with all of those. Okay, so let's switch this and this. And these here. I'm happy with that, but now I don't think I'm happy with where the ledger paper is, because I don't think I'm gonna like it sitting up against this graph paper, and I don't. Okay, so let's switch these. I think this will look good. That'll look good there. And we'll put this here. Okay. Okay, now, let me check our time and see where we're at time-wise. Okay, we're at 41 minutes, so I think what we'll do is get our storybook pages into our signatures, and in the next video, we'll do the button spine, or this is gonna be like super long, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna move our buttons though, because I need to show you something, and I'm gonna put them over here off camera. I just need to keep them in order so I know how I wanted them to go. Give me just a second. Okay. All right. First, I want to see how these lay. Yeah, they lay great. Nice. Okay. All right, so the problem that we have here is that our pages go right to the edge, okay? We can't have that because the pages stack together, and I'll just show you, which increases, okay? If I put a page in here like this, it's gonna hang out, okay? See that? Because the papers are stacked. So I do need to alter the size of these. Now, I think that I'm only gonna need to take maybe about 1/4 of an inch. These are 6.5, okay? Our page, this here is 6. So I'm gonna put the signature aside here so I can show you. We have room here on the edges of our pages. See the white space? I'll probably get some of that design, but for the most part, we have space to take about 1/4 of an inch off. Right here and here, okay? The problem is the cover, this page here. There's not room. It's gonna cut right into the design. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this page and just pull it out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down. And I'm just gonna put it in my trimmer. And I'm gonna take, let's measure it. They should be exactly 6. They're about 6.5. A little over 6.5. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'm just, where we have all the space is near the spine. And this will sit in the middle of the signature anyway, so if we take some of this design away, you won't even be able to tell because it's sitting in the middle of the signature. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a 1/2 inch off here, and I'm gonna take it off the middle. So right about here. And my metal here is my cut line, is where it's going to cut. So it's just to the outside of that. So I'm going to just pull it a little bit, so not quite a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to cut these. Okay, so we took off that much. We took off a little less than 1/2 inch. I'm going to keep these in order. Don't want to move those. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to this. So about 1/2 inch, a little less than 1/2 inch. Okay. Second signature. Do not want to take those out of order. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my washi tape to put those back together. And what I'll do is just take these out of the package. I haven't even opened these yet. And I'll just choose, and I'll just do one and show you how I'm going to go about doing this. Set these up so they're not rolling all over the place. I got these on Amazon, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to choose one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my front page and my back page, because those were together, remember? They were like this. And I'm going to just washi tape those together on the front and back, just like that. So I'm going to choose, this one would be cute. I'm going to grab my glue because I don't want to take any chances of this not sticking. Okay, I'm just going to find the edge. It's right here. Okay, and I'm just going to cut this. And then I'm just going to run it across my glue. I'll put my finger on the top and I'll just pull. Okay. I've put my pages together, so I'm just going to lay my washi tape on them, just over, just like that. And I'm going to flip it over and fold those over like that. I'm going to turn it this way, and then I'm just going to cut another piece that will fit in that space. Run it across my glue. That way I don't have, that way I don't have an issue with it sticking. This one's wanting to curl on me. And then I'm just going to match the edges up. Just like that. Oops. There we go. Oopsie. Get it straight, Dana. Jeez. Okay, I need more glue. I'm taking too long. Okay. Oh, goodness. It's early in the morning here, guys. Okay. So that's how I'm going to fix that. That's super cute, okay? Oh, no, you guys. Look what the hell I just did. I'm going to have to take this off, guys. You guys wondering what I did? Did you see it? Did you see my mistake? If you didn't, I will show you. Luckily, this is washi tape, and even though I used glue stick on it, it'll come up. Okay, I'll just cut new pieces. this goes like this. No, how did it go? I think I might have been right. Oh my gosh. I was right. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oh, you guys. I could have just left it. Shoot. Oh my word. You guys have no idea how early it is. I have been up. I did not sleep last night. I have been up since about 1:30 this morning. And it's now, I think, about 7:30 in the morning. And I have not slept. I never did go back to sleep. So I'm on about 2 hours of sleep. Oh my word. Okay. Let's go back to where we were. Gosh. Gotta just laugh at it, guys. Can't do anything about it. Gotta fix it anyway. What good does it do to be upset about it? My daughter gets like so frustrated at her Cricut and stuff like that. And it's like, I tell her, getting upset just doesn't do anything about it. But I do understand what it's like to be frustrated and how you can't always help how you react to that. But oh my goodness, at this point with no sleep, all I can do is just laugh. Okay, let me fix this. Good grief. Okay. Get those back on. Okay. Now that we're back to where we were, and now what I'm going to do is just fold this because because the papers are cut so that it'll naturally fold. And that's our page. And that's super cute. Didn't really lose any of the design or words because we took it from the spine. Because that spine had that, remember that piece here where it allows you to open the book? That's the part that we cut off. So the part that was buried in the spine here where the staples were, that's what we took off. So we're not losing any of the design at all. And I'm happy with that. And so once I get all three of those done, again, you're gonna take the top page. So my next page will be this one. And then I'm gonna take the bottom page and flip it over just like that. And then these two will go like this. Okay, that's the last page. So this will be the second page to go in, okay? So let's go ahead and just do them because it's important that you keep them in order. So let's choose a cute washi tape for this one. How about these candy canes and gingerbread men? Those will be cute. Actually, no, let's do this one. This one's pretty. I hadn't had new Christmas washi tape in forever, guys. And I finally bought myself some. Okay, so I'm working on the second page that was in the signature. Again, it's important that you keep them in order if you want your story to be in order in your journal. This over the middle, press it down, and then flip it over. Oh, I got that crooked. I can tell that I've got it crooked. Okay. And now we'll just cut this piece. Glue it. And I just glue it because I want to make sure it's not going to peel up, guys. You know, I mean, you don't want your tape peeling up in your journal. And this was kind of inexpensive washi tape, so it's not as sticky as some of the more name brands like Tim Holtz and stuff like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this one. It's got that natural crease where the papers meet. And I'm gonna put it back in here like this, okay? So that's our second page. So let's do our third. We've already laid them out. Now here, because their children were nestled all snug in their beds and it's got candy and stuff. So let's use the little candy cane and gingerbread men and stuff on this one. That'll be cute. Because you will see some of this. It may just be a little strip of it, but right over the middle, like that. That's cute. It goes with that part of the story nicely. Cute. Okay, fold this. And that's sticking really good after using the glue stick on it. Okay, and this was the middle part of this signature. Okay, so we have it in order now, and what I'm gonna grab our first signature. Let's show you how we'll put these in. We want to keep them in order as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the first page of the story and I'm gonna put it kind of toward the front, okay? Maybe like right here. That's really cute. Got the Christmas. Do I want to put it in front of the music paper? I think I do. I think I want it to be like the second thing. As soon as you turn the first page, you see the title page of the book. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm skipping the second page. I'm going with the last page. Okay, and I'm gonna put this one toward the middle. And I'm thinking right here, right before our middle, because that looks really good against that page. Okay, now for the second page, I'm gonna go between, and I'm just looking at the front of the signature, I'm gonna go between, here's our two book pages, here's our first one, here's our last one. So I'm gonna just kind of go between those two is our folder. So I'm thinking right about here. I mean, this is kind of plain. You've got this grid paper with a design, but then you just have this writing paper. So I think this would be great break in between those two. And see, now that looks really nice. And this looked really nice. So the book pages really add to break up. Now I want to show you why we needed to cut off. See now when we put these in and lay these in, see that middle one? This is the middle book page that's sitting in the middle of the signature. It goes almost to the edge. It's sitting almost on the edge of the journal. And this will shrink back a little bit when we sew it in, but it almost doesn't fit, and we took like 1/2 inch off of it. So there we go. Really cute. That's the first signature. And so that's how I'm gonna fit these book pages in. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this signature here. And I'll get these together, and then in our next video, we'll sew them into the signature, and I have chosen some super cute buttons, and we'll have, as we sew our signatures in, we'll sew buttons all along the spine here, and it'll be super cute. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.